I'm doing fine, darling. How are you? Oh God. Yes. Wow, that's a really great question and probably something we should ask my therapist. um, uh, I fell into the trap of trying to be like everyone else. And the thing that these gurus, these experts don't tell you is a lot of times their secret tricks and tips only worked for them once, and they only worked for them because they are them. They're not made to work for everybody else on the planet. It's not a reproducible system. So, can you hear the pig? Speaking of weird, I have a pet pig. Her name is Princess. She wants to come in now, but she's just pig out of luck right now. Um, so, uh, I had been trying for years to make my mark. What I had been told is that all my social media stuff needs to revolve around my work, and I should be myself, but not that much, and not too much. Don't you laugh too much? You're too smart. You're too funny. Oh my God, what the hell is up with you and these like obsessions you have with pop culture? Don't talk about that. Nobody wants to hear about that. And you remember Lauren, right? Lauren Andrews? Yes. So this is a shout out to her. Love you, Lauren. She told me, remember when I came up, it was like April when we met her in Austin, right? Something like that. In Austin, she told me that she thought that I was at my best when I was totally random. So I thought about it. I thought about how all the different ways it had not worked before. And I thought, why not? Let's give it a go. What the hell? And I just started posting stuff that made me happy. And it's interesting.
What in the heck?
Oh, hey, Tara. So, right. Uh, we said, Lauren
Yes, I
says,
always do
audio
that.
isn't
Yeah, there we
working.
go. Hi, Lauren. Now it's working. So now go to
Okay.
audience in a box / live and you'll come in below and you can see that. Okay, so Elizabeth, you try to be like everybody else. That you work, and then Lauren was like, "Hey, you're fantastic when you're just random." So that, what did
Yes.
that do?
So what happened is I just started posting the things I wanted to see. I started posting more about David Bowie. I started posting funny shit. I started posting political stuff. That's one big thing is you're not supposed to have a political sense of opinion at all as a public figure if you want to be successful. And it was interesting. Uh, the darndest thing happened by being myself. One of our colleagues uh, had an issue where she was being sexually harassed by another colleague in our industry. and I expressed some strong opinions about it. And I found out that those opinions had been screenshot by a major player in our industry, like a big name, like someone, if I said this person's name, you'd be like, oh that's God. Awesome. But I can't because I'm not supposed to know that he did that. Anyway.
So, yeah. But this is very interesting, guys. When you start doing like amazing things out there, people are going to rip you off. And there is something that Frank Kern said that I really, really love when he started going with his whole intent-based marketing. He said, people have been stealing from me for years, but the one thing that they cannot take away from me is the relationship that I have with my audience. Yes. And I think, Elizabeth, this is something that you're fantastic at, is building those relationships with people that actually really, really care about everything that you do.
And you know how you do that?
Tell me.
I'm just going to spill the secret sauce right now because I know that the majority of the people are going to hear it and then they're just going to ignore it or not do it. To build relationships, you have to give a crap about the other person.
Yes.
It's not about you. You ask questions to your audience about your audience. You respond to your audience. You find out what they like, what they dislike. You build a relationship. You find out who is hurting, who needs help, and how you can help them. I mean, yeah, I guess you guys can try to be super random if you want to, but you'll never be random the way that I'm random. I can never be random the way that you thought is random. I can never, you thought can't be random the way that Lauren is random.
Right.
It's all about that individual relationship that you build. And it really is individual on social media. Or let me rephrase that. It can be individual on social media.
So here's something super cool that I think a lot of people are kind of missing in the social media sphere. And I think you and I spoke about that a lot. People forget the word social in social media. They're looking at social media as a marketing platform. That's all it is. So it's like, how do I get more sales? How do I get more views? How do I get more numbers? And these are vanity numbers that eventually will evaporate. They don't mean anything. If YouTube today told Gary Vee that he can no longer be on Gary Vee will be like, and go to Instagram. If YouTube told it to any other of the YouTube stars, they killed their livelihood. And why? Because those stars did not build an audience like Gary Vee built an audience, like you're building an audience. And an audience is built one relationship at a time. So you can't automate relationship. I know a lot of men would be like, I would love to automate my relationship.
Hey, here, honey, I have flowers on order for every week. I think I automated it just fine. I'm doing good in our relationship. Thank you.
Yeah, and you got flowers. What are you complaining about? There's flowers, right? So that's the thing. So for you decided, okay, I'm going to be my weird self. I'm just going to be random. I love David Bowie. So I'm just going to just share my love all the way out there. And you shared it to the point. Let's talk about the Facebook algorithm. That's fantastic.
So what is fantastic is when you share things that you really care about, people really care about it. Yes. And that gets you, and I actually have an update on this story, which I think is fan-frickin-tastic.
Go ahead.
So I am known as a David Bowie lover. And it's interesting how many people that's gotten me in touch with, that's led to work, that's led to other things. But I'm known for loving David Bowie. I'm also known for loving Jeff Goldblum. In fact, my Facebook groups are the most active, are the ones that are dedicated to David Bowie and to Jeff Goldblum. I don't know what to tell you, man. Anyway, so we decided to have a listening party for Jeff Goldblum's new album that came out about 2 weeks ago. And someone who is the head of a very large David Bowie group, 15,000 plus members, wanted to stream my listening party to her group.
Wow.
Yeah. And what's even better is now I'm an admin of that David Bowie group. And she introduced me to a very private group that is run by David Bowie's social media agency, the people who do his social media now, his management, that is specifically for super fans, and you get all sorts of private access to all sorts of really awesome things, like free screenings of movies and, requests for interviews when they want to do stuff, write new pieces about David Bowie.
That's amazing. And so let's talk about this for a second, because two things that you should take away from this. One, Elizabeth did not build a 15,000 people group, but now she's running it because of her passion and her affiliation and her commitment to that topic of that group, right? Another thing that people might think, they'll be like, yeah, but how does that make you money? So let's jump into that.
So that makes me money because it gives me a way to build relationships.
And let's dive deeper into that.
Let's go deeper into it. So I'm going to be honest with you. I do not, my products and services are not cheap. So this advice may not apply if you're trying to sell a $7 ebook. It kind of does, but if you're having individual conversations to sell $7 ebooks, you really need to talk to your thought, because that's just not effective.
Right.
But I mean, a contract for me, a life of a contract for me is worth 6 figures. The contracts I have going now are high 5 to mid 6 figures that I got from this method.
And the reason why is because when people are spending 6-7 figures, they want the one ingredient that is really, really important for someone to write that check is the trust. And the trust comes from the relationship and knowing that, you're not going to take the money and disappear. And so to build that trust in relationships, everything that happens before that happens, right? So then so then being yourself is a lot more profitable than trying to keep up with an image that you can't actually keep forever, because that's not you, that's just an image, right?
Exactly. And that relationship is built by posting every day consistently about the things that make me come alive, because people are attracted to people who are alive. There's a lot of people who do what I do. And the differentiation is that I am me. That's the difference.
And what's nice about that, it's not that it's just you, but it's like it's the real you. It's not the you that someone is going to invite to the dinner table and all of a sudden be like, I never knew you liked David Bowie. Why did you keep it in? Wow. I actually don't like people who like David Bowie. Why did I invite you? If I would have known.
If I would have known, I would never have had you here. God, you're so weird. I can't have you in my life. Oh God, help me. I mean, that's just it. I really wish people would understand better that it's about connection. It is not about image.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's nice about live and everything we are doing right now is that you can't fake it in live. Like you'll hear me say it over and over and over again. You can fake it in text. You can fake it in edited videos. You can fake it in images, Photoshop, filters, everybody. But you can't fake it in live. And that's why live and what you've done with that viewing party, let's dive into that a little bit, because that was kind of like jumpstart this entire relationship, right?
It did. And it's funny because you and I had been talking earlier that just a couple days before the viewing party that I was going to restart my Weirdo brand in a couple of months. And then I got this opportunity and it's like, oh, fudgesicles. And 5 hours later, I had a website, I had everything set up, and I've got the first episode of Weirdo Radio on the website.
And I wish her to be the Brené Brown of weird.
Yes, thank you. And what was great about that, so it's, again, it goes back to the not doing what the experts say to do. I talk a lot about Star Trek too. And there's a lot of influencers in our field who love Star Trek, like John Benson.
Which I didn't know.
Yeah, he loves Star Trek. He is a big Trekkie nerd.
I had no idea.
Yes. And it's funny because you've known him longer than I have, but I know that. Yeah. Anyway.
There you go, right? Yeah, this is how amazing social media is. Whatever you are passionate about, you will find that group already somewhere, whether it's on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube. There are definitely videos on Instagram. There is already a group that is aggregated around the topic that you are passionate about. So you don't have to go and reinvent the wheel. You just have to go in and build those relationships. And what's funny is because we have so many facets of ourselves as human. I will know John as the brilliant copywriter that he is, and Elizabeth will know him as a Trekkie. Who would have known?
He is a Trekkie nerd Rush fan who likes to play the bass.
Yeah.
That's how I know John Benson. But he popped in on my viewing party, and he brought a whole bunch of his fans with him when he popped in.
That's fantastic.
I mean, and we were talking about Jeff Goldblum naked, so they got to see a whole different side of John.
Yes, and then we got to see his muscles and all that other jazz. Let's talk about what is that party? How did you throw a viewing party? What goes into that? And is that something that people should just throw around? How's that go?
Okay, so one of the things we learned is that if I threw the viewing party, if I played Jeff Goldblum's music on Facebook, Facebook's algorithm would mute everything. Like, this is not helpful. So we're going to figure out a different way to do it. I think we're probably going to use something similar to the setup you've got.
Yeah.
For our next one.
But you know why? It's copyright, right? Copyright material. Yes. So you can YouTube used to do that too. So if you would do that, if you use my setup and you go live to YouTube, after when you're done, they're not going to let you monetize it. And they might flag you for copyright, right?
So, okay, that's fine. But that was okay, because what we did instead was we gave links for people to go listen to on their own. And I chatted with Devaney and with John and with people who were on the Facebook Live about the album, about Jeff Goldblum trivia. We kind of got off the rails and started talking about David Bowie, but that kind of just happens with me, so you just roll with it. And I think right now, I want to say we had like 300 views that night.
Oh, wow.
And I have not checked to see, because I'm a horrible person. Sorry. I'm just horrible. I just haven't checked about that recently. But now
that wasn't the goal. The goal was so two things. One, the goal was not actually to do anything. We just have to have fun and have a party, right? Yeah. Just to have fun.
I was eating a hamburger while I was talking.
So,
Devaney was drinking. So John was playing guitar. I don't know what to tell you.
So if you guys remember the early days of Blab that came and gone, all those beautiful platforms, right? Blab was there. The creators wanted Blab to be this broadcasting platform where content creators will come and create content and broadcast, and it'll be this fantastic, watch me thing. Instead, what people did is they just came together like Elizabeth just did with her friends, and they were geeking out for hours. And the founders of Blab said, well, this is not what we planned on doing. People just sit here and talk. I guess we're going to close it. Right? And so, but that stuff is what builds the relationship. That stuff is what makes communities, and that stuff is what grows your business eventually. And so you found a way to do that in Facebook, basically move from the text to the face-to-face interaction into the deeper relationship kind of thing.
Definitely. And we actually have a question from Perul, who is watching on Facebook Live. Perul, if you want to jump in, come on, but I'll go ahead and I'll ask. She says, my passion is spirituality. If I start posting about it, will people get confused about my main business?
What is your main business?
Well, I know her main business, she is really big into books.
Okay.
She makes books. She's actually, she actually takes care of some of my clients for me when I have overflow. But my thing, Perul, is that you don't have to stop posting about your business. but post about your spirituality as well and how it informs your business. When I do talk about the work I do, I talk about how, okay, so David Bowie said blah, blah, blah about creativity. And when I'm looking at work for my clients, I keep that in mind, that if this is too easy for me, it's probably not my best work. And I could do something a little more challenging to make a better product for my customer. So, I mean, definitely you can bring all of it in if you want to.
And I actually, so this weekend I was at a Taki Moore event, and Taki Moore has black belt. That's his program, and he gives belts based on how much income you make every month. So black belt is the coveted belt, which means that you're making 70,000, 50,000, 70,000 a month, which gives you to $1 million business, which is what he wants to do. So he was handing people like yellow belts, green belts, red belts. And one of, I believe, red or black belts are a group, a couple, husband and wife, who are helping speakers get started with all their programs and all that stuff. But they are Christian based. So they said, that turned off a few people, but we are very much a Christian community. And if you're not really into Christianity, then you might want to go and learn your speaking somewhere else. David Newman, maybe. So that's how you can dial your spirituality. Like if you have values, our society is missing values right now. So people really gravitate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gravitate into people that have values and are proud of those values. And I'm going to move this a little bit. There we go. And are proud of those values and share them, because then people, here we go. Hi, Paul. Hi, Lauren. And I think the audio is working now.
Yeah, it's working.
It's working. So that's the thing. So once you have once you know what you stand for, it's a lot easier for people to relate to you. And if you want like a really great example of someone spiritual who's really successful, Tony Robbins, right?
I mean, one thing, it's like people are bemoaning how popular certain political figures are, but what they don't realize is part of the reason that person is so popular is because they have taken a stand on issues.
Yes.
Whether or not you agree or disagree with them. I mean, if you can choose any flavor on the planet or any product on the planet, but it comes in your favorite flavor, you're going to get your favorite flavor if you can. I mean, I love strawberries. If they have strawberry ice cream, I'm going for strawberry ice cream. I don't want your nasty pistachio.
And I'll take the pistachios and she can have the strawberry. And there you go. You just sold 2 ice creams. And she's not drinking beer. So the idea is behind this show is to get you comfortable with knowing who you are, finding your own voice, and not being afraid of being yourself out there. This is how I build my Google brand, which is really funny because every time someone would see me, they'll be like, oh, don't talk to her. She'll try to get you into Google. But that's what everybody knew about me. She's the Google person. Do you remember those days, Elizabeth?
I do.
And now look what happened. Google killed Google Plus, and sadly we're everywhere. Even on Facebook. But everybody who knew me, when I think my first post on Facebook, everybody kind of like, oh my God, she's on Facebook. Why? Because I'm not a Facebook person. I am a Google person. So that distinction can help people be like, okay, I want a Google person. Let me go talk to Ifat. I want a Facebook person. Let me go talk to Elizabeth.
Well, that's just it. And having a distinction is not a bad thing. Wow. I mean, to be perfectly honest, if you had not had that distinction, circumstances would not have been set in motion for us to have met many moons ago. Well, actually just like 2 years, but that's neither here nor there. And, we would not be here now. It's okay to be different. The way I like to look at it is you have to look at yourself as personal branding, the way a store brands itself, or the way that a label brands itself. Not every store is for every person. Some people, I love to go to Nordstrom's. I'm a Nordstrom's girl. Nordstrom's keeps a high barrier to entry through its appearance, but once you get inside, it's just a wonderful experience. Not everyone is comfortable going into Nordstrom's. They would rather go to, Macy's or J.C. Penney's. And that's okay, because that is where they're comfortable at. The idea is that you are creating an audience that is comfortable with you, has your values, and just being with you makes them happy.
Exactly. So we're in this overwhelmed world that we have. We are very connected physically, but we're craving connection because because we're so separated, and everything that we see online right now is like everyone is trying to up each other. Look at me here, look at me here. Remember how Gary Vee was saying now we're in an Instagram period where we choose the location based on how it's going to look in Instagram?
Yeah, I've eaten at places for that reason, not gonna lie.
So if that's the society we live in right now, then what you need to do, you need to be very clear in your own head what it is that you stand for. And it doesn't have to be, world peace and all the stuff that beauty queens have to say on stage. It can be just being you. And if you is weird, weird is good.
Be weird. Quite frankly, weird is refreshing. Mm-hmm. I mean, so many people are so focused on being perfect, never having anything wrong. I will never say the wrong words. I will never forget what I'm going to say. Did you know that I kind of burped a little bit while we were on camera about 20 minutes ago? Because I did.
I was trying not to draw attention to that, but sure.
I burped. Anyway. But that's just it. Being yourself, being real, that makes all the difference. And my favorite things about me is that everyone who has known me online and then met me in real life knows that I'm the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, the one thing that people, when they meet me in person, the first thing that comes out of their mind is
short.
Do that again?
You're so short.
I am very short. I'm a mini-me. But now, look at me. I'm filling up the space. So, and that's why we love live videos. So, the point of this discussion is to encourage you to be you, to find your weird spot, to embrace your weirdness, to fuck perfect. Who cares about perfect, right? Nobody's perfect. And just to drive that point home, if everybody was perfect, we will not have bloopers. Not in movies, not in TV.
Those are the best, right? I mean, watching Thor fall on his butt after he gets knocked off of the green screen, that's hilarious.
And that's what makes you love the guy, right? Not because of how perfect he is on stage. You love him because he's human. And we all want to feel like, that we're human and we don't have to be perfect. So embrace your imperfections. And be okay to just have values and be okay to fight for your values and stand for them, because we miss that. And the more you do that, the more, people will gravitate towards you, because that will be the conversations that you're sharing online. That will be the brand that people are getting to know. And it'll be so much easier for you because you don't have to keep two personalities at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I can barely keep my own act together with just one personality. I don't know what to tell you about two, man. Sorry.
So one last thing, Elizabeth, you are a content generating machine. You post every 2 minutes, I think.
Yes.
When I'm looking at notification, it's only from you. You overtake my entire stream, which is fantastic.
Sorry. Love you.
But when someone tries to, get their voice out there or, have a life outside of Facebook, what would you say would be a good balance?
So I know it seems like I post a lot, but I'm doing a lot of work in between the posting. The way I do it is I have a lot of stuff that I just catch and save on my phone.
Me too.
And then I post like 5 when I get up in the morning, 5 sometime during the day, and then 5 sometime at night. Oh, I just burped again. And, yeah.
On camera.
Yes.
And this is her being real.
I'm being so real right now. I'm disgusting. I don't know what to tell you guys. Sorry.
We all burp when we drink soda. That's the thing. Every time you drink soda, it's carbonated. You're gonna burp.
And this is not even like soda. This is like generic seltzer water with cranberry lime in it from Kroger's. It's not even like. Anyway, yeah. Oh, yes. I also follow, and you can prioritize these in your newsbook feed by turning on notifications for them. There are certain pages that make quality content that I know my audience will like. And so when they post something, it's like, oh, hey, I can just push this out here and my fans will love it. You know, it takes a lot of pressure off of you trying to have to come up and be witty every 5 freaking minutes.
Yes, curation is big. And again, I think it circles back to the point we made earlier. People strive for connection, not content. So you don't have to create all the content in order to be known as the go-to person in that industry. If all you do is share from other people, but you really focus on the relationship, answering comment. I'm like, I used to do that with Google+. What's the fastest way to double your comments? I know you know. What's the fastest way to double your comments?
I either ask a personal question or I post something very controversial sounding. One of the two.
And respond to every comment that someone leaves there.
Oh, that too, yeah. Yeah. I knew that. I knew we were going there with that. I just wanted to make sure you knew you were going there. Yeah.
So that's it. So if you want to, have more comments on your post, reply to every comment and you just double the comments without actually getting more people to interact. And then what happens with the Facebook algorithm and other...
It picks it up.
What happens?
It picks it up. It doesn't even matter if it is just you commenting on your own post. It registers as a comment and Facebook is like, oh, people are interested in this.
And you'll get more, especially in groups, you'll get more visibility. This will pop to the top and people will see more of an interaction. So if you want engagement, guess what? Engage. If you want a friend, be a friend. If you want trust,
it's really weird how that works, right?
It's all the stuff they told you in kindergarten that you forgot or thought did not apply for online. It all applies. It all applies.
Or like you didn't pay $6,000 for some guru to tell you this in a really shitty online course. So you just like disregard it. Not speaking from personal experience there at all. No.
So, yes. So it might seem like a lot more work, but actually it's really not. It will reduce the load of content that you have to create. It will expand your relationship. Your stuff is going to get shared more because now people care about what you do. And you will have to work less and actually have more meaning and more impact. And that's exactly what happened to Elizabeth when she decided, F with the normal, I'm going to be weird.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's interesting to me. I don't know that I want to test it that far, but it's like, how weird can I get before people stop paying attention to me?
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, don't test it.
Yeah, let's not.
Because we like paying attention to you. But that's the whole Torah in a nutshell, right? You want more engagement? Be engaging. Be a friend. Be yourself. Remove all the like, oh my God, I need to look like my favorite Instagram person. No, you can. I met today with Brian Eisenberg. Hi, if you're watching, fantastic human being. And
hello,
he said, I can't crush it on Instagram just because I don't have a cleavage. And most of the people who are crushing it on Instagram are models, fitness models or whatever, with like their boobs up and stuff like that. So if that's the platform, fine. That's not for you. You're not that type of person. Go to LinkedIn.
I was going to argue. I mean, you don't even have to have titties to crush it on Instagram. You have to have content that people give a damn about.
A little bit.
I mean, there's a lot of like food and craft people. They're posting pictures of the apple pie they made without a titty in sight. So I got to tell you, man, I'm going to challenge you there. I don't think that's the thing. I think the problem is you're putting out the wrong kind of content for Instagram.
Or those foods are actually food porn, and that falls again into the same sexual category.
Okay, so maybe they're apple titty. What do you want from me? A thought, okay?
Speaking might not be, the best, but you know what I mean. What I meant is that he cannot have a cleavage, so he's not going to try to now model fitness experts and crush a platform that is not him. He's not going to grow cleavage just to be there, which actually might be funny. Instead, he would go to LinkedIn, where his profession and everything else that he's doing, is the right platform. So pick a platform, find your voice, find your niche, and go to town. Be yourself, right?
Definitely. I mean, I don't know that this would work on LinkedIn, what I do on Facebook. It kind of works on Twitter. It really works on Facebook. It doesn't work so much on LinkedIn.
And why is that?
Because I'm not creating the right material for LinkedIn.
Not weird. She's not LinkedIn weird. She's just Facebook.
I'm not. LinkedIn for me is mostly weird old guys trying to pick me up. That's my LinkedIn experience in a nutshell.
That's my SMS experience lately, which is weird. I keep getting, I don't know all of you out there, but I keep getting these weird text messages from people who think I am a guy, and offering me their private parts for some reason.
Wow. Okay. I guess maybe you could write a book about that for somebody who wants that for themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But again, every platform is different. So text messages to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to Twitter. So one last thing, the hardest, and I think one of the most frustrating things for me when I started was when people say, just be yourself. And then you try to be yourself, and then cricket, nobody cares. And you see everybody else gaining so much traffic. So I know what my answer for that is, but Elizabeth, what's your answer for that?
So, okay, this goes back to are you being yourself in the appropriate manner? Because I'm not going to lie, there are some people when they are being themselves are total assholes. They just are. And they think they're being themselves. I'm being myself, but I'm not really being myself. I'm just trying really hard to be what I think you think myself should be. And
so it's a different kind of me too.
Yeah, it's more. It's like you can only curate so much.
Yeah.
In fact, there's this one woman who is who's a mutual of a friend. She is continually posting photos of herself and her fabulous life, and getting crickets because it's not authentic. And now she started posting about things she's doing that she's not actually doing.
Oh.
And she's getting crickets because it's inauthentic. People know when you're full of shit. They do. They just do.
Yes. And I had a comment to follow that. That'll be offline.
Okay. Elizabeth, stop cussing on my show, for fudge's sake.
No, there's so much fake out there. Some of the internet marketers know how to, I'm going to use one of your phrases, polish a turd.
Yes.
And a lot of people are falling for that. So that aside, if you want to build like really good relationships, one of the biggest suggestions that I may offer you is, rather than just trying to be, okay, so when you start out, nobody knows you exist, right? You just opened your Facebook page, you just started your LinkedIn profile, you just started your Twitter or your Instagram. No one knows you exist. How will they know you exist? How will you pop up in someone's feed? Hi, Alison, if you are not shorter than me. How will people know that you decided to show up on social? Well, there are two ways. One, you can start putting money behind it and start putting, buying ads and promoting your Facebook. The other one is, remember what we said before about engagement?
It's
Go-
not just a ring.
What's that?
It's not just a ring.
It's not just a ring. I love it. I love it. I'm going to use it. She
for
said
it.
it first. You heard it here. So engagement's not just a ring. I love it. It's actually go to groups, right? Look for the hashtags, look for the topics that you can add value to, and add value. Join the
Yes.
conversation. Say something smart rather than just like, hi, I'm here. It's okay, Allison, we still love your heart. But say something that actually starts a conversation and shows someone, as Elizabeth said at the beginning, that you give a damn. And then they're gonna come to your newly created profile and be like, who's that person who really cares about me? Let me go check them out. And that's how you start building your followers, your relationships, and growing your presence online, one relationship at a time. You don't have to build those groups because they already exist. Go be part of a group. Go add value. Don't just try to sell stuff because you don't know if people even need it. So
Yeah.
be a friend, and then someone be like, wow, you seem to know a lot about David Boy. I actually want to put a party up. So can you come and help me with that party?
Well, yes, I can.
For a small fee of...
You know, you bring up a really great point, and there is a spectacular quote from C.S. Lewis. Friendship, and I'm going to butcher it, but you'll get the general idea. Friendships begin the day that someone else says, you too? I thought I was the only one.
Oh.
And the only way you get to that point is by being authentic, by sharing yourself. And when I say sharing yourself, share yourself without expectation of getting anything back. And just trust that what you are building will create an amazing, this is Lilith, by the way, hi, will create an amazing relationship. I've noticed that whenever I invest in relationships first, that has the biggest payoff of anything for me.
Right. And when you say invest in relationships, yes, it's a fantastic word. When you say invest in relationships, you don't mean let me take something away from you, or let me figure out how you can do something for me first, or hey, I want to be connected to this person so they can share stuff. That's not a relationship. That's
No.
an exchange.
That's a transaction.
Transaction. Thank you.
No, yeah. Love people first and then see what happens.
And it doesn't have to take a long time, right? If you know what you're about, if you know what value you offer, and if you know how you can help people, just by helping them, they're gonna come and ask you for more. So who said that? Dan Kennedy or someone? Someone said
I
like
think
give
it was
away.
Dan Kennedy, wasn't it?
What's that?
I think it was Dan Kennedy that said that.
Someone said like give away all your stuff for free, and then people will come asking for more. I can't remember who said that.
Are you sure it's not Dan Kennedy? I thought it
No,
was.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Oh well.
It could
Anyway,
be.
thank you, Allison. I love you. Allison is actually starting she has started a page for autistic people to share themselves and their creativity so that they can be seen as more than just, what the stereotype people have of autistic people.
And that was a shout out that Allison did not have to pay for.
Exactly, because I love Allison, and we've had a 2.5-year friendship going on, and she's done so much for me, and that's relationship right there.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about. No, this is about you. See? No, it's not me, it's you. No, you. No, you. No, you.
Just accept my love, Allison. Shut up and take it.
So, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully you got a lot of value from that. If you want to find Elizabeth, guess what? On Facebook all the time.
Find me
On
on Facebook.
Twitter. What's that?
Find me on Facebook because that's where most of the relationship building happens.
Twitter as well, right?
At Pookie Galore on Twitter. And in the next month or so, we will be launching Weirdo Radio. You can go to the website right now, weirdoradio.com. It's not very impressive. Sorry. But there are videos that are going up there. And actually, this interview will be going up there as well on my site and on yours, I believe.
Yes. So, what is Weirdo Radio about?
Weirdo Radio is a place to be weird.
There you go.
There you go.
Is that a community?
It will be. I got to get that part in. Right now, all it is hosting videos because I'm doing it by myself and I'm doing it on the side because that's just how I roll.
But you guys, this is the best example of like something that you're really passionate about, that you love, that you're gonna start getting behind and talking about, and then get a bunch. There you go. I didn't know about the video. I will check it out. Ta-da! Audience.
I mean, that's just it right there. I don't expect to make any money off of Weirdo Radio. What I expect is to build relationship and community.
The brand and the presence and the reach.
Exactly.
That eventually fuel the, pay the mortgage.
That will give me more money later on. So.
Exactly. So.
And Jeff Goldblum, if you're watching, I love you.
So if you want to follow Elizabeth, Facebook, Elizabeth Hamilton. If you want to follow Weirdo Radio, weirdoradio.com. If you want to watch the replay of this video, audienceinthebox/live. And that's it. Hopefully we'll see you guys in another episode of Audio in the Box pretty soon. Elizabeth, I love everything you shared. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. Like, seriously, guys, I met Yafat through work, in a work relationship that was not the best. And she is seriously one of the most authentic people on the planet. And if you have the opportunity to make a friend of her, you will be blessed for it.
Aw.
I love you.
That's why we're married.
Yeah, it is.
So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Allison. Fantastic seeing all of you. We'll see you in another episode of Audience in Box pretty soon.
Bye.